Hi everyone, Marianne here from Revealing Light Tarot, Astrology and Spirituality. How are we all today? Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. Okay, in keeping with the month of October, using witch type, pagan type, Halloween type decks, I'm using my Celtic Tarot, honouring of course what some see as the origins of Halloween, which was the Samhain festival, Gaelic festival that was held thousands of years ago, or has its origins thousands of years ago, which was held on October 31st, November the 1st, marking the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter. And that's when the Celts would open up the burial mounds on the evening of October the 31st, and some would see that as a portal to the other world. So using the Celtic Tarot is quite apt here at this time. All right, lots to cover today. Of course, OPEC has announced they're going to cut the production of oil, and that will push up the price of gas right in front of the midterms. Russia and Saudi Arabia are the big voting blocs on OPEC, and it's not hard to think that even though they say this is getting in front of economic downturns where the demand for petrol won't be as high, it's easy for us to think this is payback to the US, and this is political manoeuvring to try and advantage the Republican Party in the midterms. Let's see if that's the case. Let's look at OPEC, so the Saudis, the Saudis and Russia, that evil evil bloc that we saw so much of in the early Trumpian days, Russia, Saudis, and the Trump government, and of course the Israelis there as well. Let's take a look. Saudis and Russia, OPEC decision. Was this a political one designed to harm the Biden administration in front of the midterms? So we have the Six of Swords. That's an interesting card because it flipped out when I was shuffling before. This talks about travel, relocation, moving out of troubled waters, but it's passage. It's passage. It's talking about some kind of passage. The High Priestess. Now that's interesting. Something coming out of left field. You know, this could be rising inflation in all the Western countries and be the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak, because we are facing such economic downturn at this time. Six of Swords, the High Priestess. Interesting. What's Biden going to do? The Knight of Pentacles is at the foundation of the reading. That's reliability, sustainability. They're going to just cause not only the high prices but shortages as well. And this will impact on, as I said, on those third world developing countries as well as our Western countries. It makes a good argument, doesn't it, to move toward renewables and electric cars if you're going to be held hostage by authoritarian and corrupt regimes, warmongering regimes. The Two of Wands coming to fruition in time. I think this was always going to occur, and the timing is pretty sus. Okay, the timing is pretty sus, and that I asked, was this a political decision? Five of Wands in the sky kind of answers that. That's the partisanship, competitiveness. It's all the fives are very, very difficult energies that often precede change. It's that kind of energy where you've got, you know, us versus them, one political party versus the next. I asked was a political decision, and this is my political card. So that's kind of crowning the reading, but let's see what's going to happen. King of Swords. In the immediate future, I think this was Putin driven. Obviously, the US has just given more aid to Ukraine. Ukraine is doing so well, taking back its territory, and I think this is weaponizing energy, which we've seen with the gas, and now we're seeing with the oil. The Four of Cups in the here and now. I believe that the Biden administration had a deal with the Saudis, and they've broken that deal. Surprise, surprise. I think that's what, when Biden went to see the Saudis, that's what they were trying to get in front of something like this, and they've been disappointed. But there's still one cup remaining. They're not without power. Yeah, of course, the devil card. Of course, the devil card. So this just smacks of what I intuitively thought, that this has been designed to harm the Biden administration in front of the midterms. But America is not without power, neither are others. There are other ways to do things. There could even be sanctions on OPEC members. Other ways, releasing oil reserves. There's a lot of ways that they can act. Hopes and fears, the Knight of Cups. This was quick. I think, for the Saudis to act with Russia in the way that they did, I think this was driven. This is a Putin strategy. Now we've got the past. Okay, so at the root of all of this, why renewables have become political, why renewable energy hasn't been taken up by certain type of governments, because it's about staying in the past. Now that's despite all the weather events. We've had flooding here again in New South Wales, my state. It's unprecedented. It really is. Sydney, I think, has not had this much rainfall ever in its recordable history. So we've got trying to stay in the past, not wanting. Why? Because you've got profits, power, etc. You've got the system. The Queen of Swords. Okay, so there is a plan, Queen of Swords, to stabilise this. It also does have something to do with the past. So this could be drawing from the reserves. It could be sourcing oil from somewhere else. We've got coming together, and we've got circles of support. But getting back to the question, the outcome cards would indicate money is at the heart of this. So we have something around the past. We have the Queen of Swords, some kind of plan, strategy to stabilise something, and then a coming together to support that. With the partisanship card crowning the reading. Well, let's just have a look at this Six of. Okay, so I guess we need to know, can the Biden administration counteract this in any way? Can the Biden administration counteract this? The Ace of Pentacles was at the base of the pack, so there could be some sort of injection of money, reserves, I don't know. So we've got the Eight of Swords, restrict them. They could even put some I don't know if it's sanctions, but they could, oh yeah, they're going to restrict OPEC, basically. They're coming back. They're going to fight back. And we've got the Empress, Russia. Abundance, harvest, and the Eight of Wands. Yeah, okay, so more, oh yeah, and the Sun card. More sanctions on Ace of Wands. They've got plans for this, contingency plans. I think they're going to restrict, really, if I think play hardball is just what, in some way, is what I think is going to occur. They could, I don't know how this works, but they could underpin something like I don't know. So tackling it through restricting OPEC in some way and perhaps opening up their reserves, but there's also something that it's the dollar, something to do with the dollar. Anyway, this will have reverberations. Okay. Now we go to the former president and taking the whole top secret classified documents which don't belong to him, which he took out of the White House, which he had no right to do. We know about Judge Aileen Cannon and her stepping way outside her lane to help the president. The DOJ has had another win at the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. Timeline has speeded up. But, of course, where was Trump going to take this? But to the SCOTUS. I think it comes under the jurisdiction of Clarence Thomas. So I'm just going to ask, will Trump be successful in his appeal to the Supreme Court over the classified documents? Will Trump be successful in his appeal to the Supreme Court over the classified documents? So we have here the Ace of Cups. I mean, that's a yes card, but we have the Ten of Cups. These are the signifier cards. Family, connections. Look, the High Priestess, something that we're not seeing. I immediately thought that this may go, I mean, Thomas can't make that decision on his own. This might go before the full court. The King of Swords, planning, strategy. Let's see what's in the sky. The Sun card, full illumination. I mean, that's what we're facing at this time. It's like illumination of what is hidden. The Nine of Wands, guardrails. So this is kind of like saying no. That's in the immediate future. I think he's got the hearing that he wanted. Like it should really have just been put back. It shouldn't even been entertained. But he gets sort of what I feel is he gets some way, but it doesn't ultimately end well for him. The Magician, manifestation. It's like manipulation. And the Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment. I mean, he's getting the way that he structured the Supreme Court, the way that he structured other courts. He sees that as a win, and he is winning in that regard. However, Six of Swords, he wants to try and avert what he sees is, he knows that this is the one that he could go down with. He's hoping for a reprieve. He's hoping to leave this trouble behind him. Now we have here the Three of Pentacles. I feel it will be heard by more than just Thomas. The Three of Pentacles, that's working more than just one. It's working in teams. It can also be dark money as well. But we also have the Hangman, the major arcana, clarifying that suspension. Suspension. I think, as I said, it goes some way. And the Ten of Pentacles, all about money here. Family money. Six of Pentacles, giving and receiving help. It's not a good outcome that this even occurred to begin with. I think, left to Thomas, he probably would say yes, but I think it won't be just his decision, in which case when the other justices get involved, it goes back to, he's not successful. It goes back to the 11th Circuit decision, Court of Appeals. Okay. It could be that he sends it back. He sends it back to the three judges at the Court of Appeals. Okay, so let's have a look. Does ultimately the SCOTUS send it back? Two cards wanted to jump out. Got the Ace of Wands and the King of Cups, which is, wisdom and maturity prevailing. Does he ultimately send it back? Show me this Three of Pentacles. He's extremely anxious. So are we about this. So I don't think it ends well for him. It can't really. And the Queen of Wands. I think other justices might get involved, and ultimately he doesn't get his way. But the fact that it's gone this far is incredible, really, isn't it? So I think it won't be left to Thomas alone. Somehow other SCOTUS get involved and they send it back. But it looks like he's had a win at this early stage, getting what he wanted, getting it to the Supreme Court, which he thinks he owns, but ultimately they do send it back. I think that's the way it plays out. Of course, you know, I hate that I'm even suggesting that, you know, he might get a certain way before he doesn't. It should have been a straight case of no. Okay, all right, so let's take a look at Russia. It's like they're getting beaten in southern Ukraine, southeastern Ukraine. They're just running, basically abandoning their stuff or surrendering or running. It's tragic, really. So are the Russians thinking of coming at Ukraine through Belarus? Eight of Wands, yeah, there could be some kind of very quick action coming from Belarus, and it is largely to take the heat off their troops in southeastern Ukraine, so that it puts Ukraine's mobility or mobilization more toward the other end, toward the Belarusian border. Now we have here the devil. This is toxic, horrible, horrible, horrible stuff. Anyone who knows anything about war should, knows to keep their mouth shut. Obviously, Elon Musk doesn't know anything about war because he suggested that Zelensky should, have a chat with Putin about some kind of deal, and that the annexed territory should take a vote with the UN supervising. I mean, this is Ukraine's a sovereign country. Two of Cups, there's a partnership commitment with Belarus, Lushenko. The Ace of Pentacles in the sky, this is finance as well. Money, new starts, and the Six of Wands. Yeah, they want victory. They want a victory of some sort. I get the impression this is not just Belarus and Russia. This is others. Others joining him to come in through that way. Three of Cups, the Knight of Cups. Yeah, I think who else besides Belarus will come to Putin's aid? Two of Swords, crossroads. This is a very volatile time. And the seven of Swords, lies, deceit. And the Nine of Wands. Ultimately, this too isn't going to be successful. The Five of Wands, yeah, it's obstacles and challenges. Judgment, it's an inevitability they're going to try and do this, but they're not successful either. Watch for who else besides Belarus and Russia is there. Okay, now, just want to take... Let's take one of the Senate races. I feel quite positive about the Senate, and I think with the House it'll be close. At this stage, Democrats will hold an advantage, but the polls are tightening, if you can believe those polls. Let's take a look at just one of these Senate races, and then I just want to quickly take a look at Liz Truss. A disastrous start to her prime ministership. Let's take a look. We know that Fetterman will probably win against Oz. Let's take a look at Warnock, Reverend Warnock and Walker, Herschel Walker. I mean, basically come out as an anti-abortionist because it helps you win government, even though you paid for an abortion in 2009. I'm talking about Herschel Walker. All right, let's just see. Will Reverend Warnock win against Herschel Walker? Will Reverend Warnock, I mean, such a good, intelligent, wonderful senator. Reverend Warnock win against Herschel Walker. Seven of Swords, lies and deceit. The King of Cups, crossing that. Okay, so we've got emotional wisdom paired with lies and deceit. What else is Walker lying about? We've got the Ten of Swords, complete and utter downfall. You know, I'd kind of say, you know, normally the right man or the right person wins, or right wins, but there's so much lying here. Now we have the Death card in the past, the ending of something. Now we have moderation crown in this reading. It's good to see a major arcana do this. I think Walker is in trouble because of his lies, okay? And we've got moderation crown in this reading. We have justice in the immediate future. Justice for what? Justice for lies. Three of Pentacles working together, but this can also be dark money. And we've got the Two of Cups, some kind of contract. Who's funding Walker and why has always been the big question. We have the Ace of Pentacles. What's he getting out of it? I think he's been promised. You know, it's just corrupt, isn't it? The outcome card is the Two of Swords, which means it's going to be very close, heavy decisions to be made. We've got Trump here on the ballot, literally, even though he isn't on the ballot, he's on the ballot. And we've got the cult of Trump. So if Warnock loses, I'm heartened to see the Temperance card, but I'm afraid to say that Walker gets a lot of votes simply because he's Trump's person. We have the Wheel of Fortune coming in there. Let's see what's at the base of this. So the Seven of Pentacles, review, and the Queen of Swords. So logic prevailing, and the Four of Wands. So I'm going to draw some clarifiers on this because, I mean, at this point, it's like, this is what it's saying. You've got moderation, even-handedness, temperance versus, this is the voter, versus Trump extremism and the cult of Trump. And, I mean, that, to me, again, should be a simple answer, is you go with the legitimate person, not the liar. But let's have a look. Two of Swords. Well, can you clarify heavy decisions for voters to make? It's the Trumpian voters that need to. It's like the Republicans need to. It's down to the Republicans. Will they vote for Walker and vote for Trump, or will and everything that Walker represents, or will they go with Reverend Warnock and moderation, a more even-tempered type of candidate? Will they show me this Two of Swords? Is this a vote for Warnock? I can't believe this is even close. Just got the Devil card, the toxicity. Oh, but then we've got endings of that toxicity, and we've got celebrations, and that's my card for the Democrats. I'm pleased to say that. Whew, it's going to be a hard battle for Warnock. It really is. It will come down to whether they go for moderation, temperance, even balance, or do they go for this Trumpian type of energy here? And I think Walker's too toxic for them. They will go with Warnock. So it took a while to see that, because I think that's how it's going to play out, but there you have it. Now, before I go, I do want to read on Liz Truss. I cannot understand somebody who still is spouting Reagan economics 101, trickle-down economics. So we ease up the tax burden for the multi-billionaires, and somehow that gets Britain moving, the UK moving, and we're all going to benefit. Like, yeah, we've all seen how that goes for the underdogs, don't we? We all see how that works out. Honestly, I don't think she's going to last. I think that there will be a general election. But anyway, soon, before 2025. So show me how is the electorate? warming, accepting. How does the electorate feel about Liz Truss and her policies? The High Priestess, something coming out of left field. She has secrets. She has secrets there that we don't know about. And the Six of Swords, moving out of troubled waters. I think also people in the UK are getting sick and tired of a lack of certainty and stability. And here we go again. We have the Two of Cups. There's partnerships and deals that she's done here that people don't know about. Okay, Three of Pentacles in the past, working with whom I honestly think that she's in the pocket of, whether it's the hedge funds, like Johnson. It's like she is the same as what caused the problems to begin with. She wasn't the solution. She was part of the problem. Now we have the Moon card here. There's some fairly clandestine energies here that the UK has to deal with this current iteration of the Tories. It's a mess. It is a mess. And there's a lot that has been buried. That there's a lack of transparency here. Queen of Pentacles in the immediate future. So she may have some wins in terms of economic stability. But I asked how the people feel, and I have to say that Queen of Pentacles can talk about a lack of stability. It could be that what she has done to kind of rectify the boat, she scrapped a lot of her, taking taxes off the higher margin taxpayers, the billionaires, the millionaires. She's wound a lot back. That will stabilise things in the short term, okay? But she was forced into that. Eight of Wands in the here and now. There's a speeding up. There's a quickening here. What's that quickening? Okay, so we've got Queen of Wands. So we've got, again, this kind of feminine energy. Queen of Wands is moving quickly. Let's see what that is. There's a real quick movement here in the present for the UK. The hopes and fears, of course, is financial downturn, and that gets reflected through the markets. The Bank of England came out and basically, in an unprecedented move, and basically said what you're doing is wrong. This is finance stuff. So she's not going to, the Hangman is the outcome. They want her paused. They want her stopped. They don't like what she's doing. They feel that there are things under the surface, and they'd be right, that they don't know about. Deals that have been made with certain sections of the economy. They just don't like it. And there's an instability here in the UK politics that's not going to go away. Now we've got the Four of Wands. That's families, reunions. And we've got the Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment. They just want a government who acts not for the big end of town all the time. They want something for them. Okay, so we have here the Eight of Swords. She's been restricted, and rightly so. She was not the solution. She was part of the problem. Now, I just want to quickly ask for my UK viewers, are we going to see... What a foolish start. What a foolish mistake and start. Are we going to see an election in the UK? God, just give us a decent, it doesn't matter which party they're from, just give us decency. Decency and acumen and intelligent government. not continually acting, but there's the systems. There's the corruption in the system. All right, so will the UK face a general election before 2025? Will the UK face a general election? I'm getting, whoa. The economy will force them into it. Six of Wands, victory. That's moving forward, and we've got the Page of Swords, an uncomfortable truth around, this is around her. I wouldn't like her job at all. It's like the people didn't vote for her policies. Okay, judgment. It's an inevitability, basically, but I'm thinking it's financial downturn that forces this. King of Cups is in the past, wisdom and maturity. Crowning the reading is the Four of Wands. Yeah, they're going to force, that card came up before in the question that I asked about Truss. They're going to force an election because there's just going to be such a terrible recession, such a terrible three of Swords. People are heartbroken, and this is the seriousness that you get when you read the energies behind this card. It's like an inevitability that there will be an election and a change of government. The Two of Wands, that's sort of like the crossroads card, something that comes to fruition in time. Families, monies, legacies, super funds, financial suffering, I guess. The Queen of Swords in the hopes and fears. It's like her plans and her strategies are not working. The Hierophant, the Judge, I'm glad to see that. The Hierophant is the government. That's the outcome card. The High Priestess. Her government may not be long away from failing, and we have the Death card here. Her own people are going to force this election. Nine of Pentacles, they just see her as in the pocket with the big end of town. Page of Wands, something's coming out too with that Moon card. She's going to face a scandal. Unfortunately, the UK is not going to get stability in their government. Even if they do get a short reprieve from her winding back her policies, there's a lot of turbulence ahead for the UK. The best thing to do when the milk is spilt sometimes is to get rid of a lot of them and stick somebody in with that's going to give you a new start, whoever that might be. It's like really the room needs to be swept clean by the broom. All right, so I'll see you later. That's how I see it. Bye for now.